I'm gonna just use the QBZ. I honestly think that the QBZ is a little bit underrated. It's like a pretty good gun, especially because the iron sights are so clean. But anyway,
Free
that's my
for
two
all.
cents. So this is free for all. Obviously, we're not gonna focus too
Assume
much
all
on this.
contacts are hostile.
But in team deathmatch, you typically spawn here. So once you spawn, you want to take out your pistol because you run faster, obviously, and you want to go down this ramp. But you want to slide down this ramp. You want to take out your AR and you want to chow this. But you don't want to chow this as in you don't want to come around a corner like a bot and just pre-aim this because anybody can shoot you, right? So once you slide down this, because it makes you faster, you want to take out your AR and then you want to slide cancel to that head glitch like this. And then you want to chow people there, right? Once you see people there, you obviously want to shoot them or whatever. And then you can quickly give this a peek too. You can see under the buses if anybody's going there. That is a very typical head glitch that people go off, especially at the start of the game, and obviously the window that all the noobs go into. What you don't want to do is to come around the corner and chow like this, which you could, you know. But a better way that has worked for me is to either slide cancel this, which I'm not going to go into slide canceling details because there's 1,000 videos on YouTube on how to do it, so just go look those up. So you want to slide cancel, but what you want to do is to make sure that your head pops up here. So you want to start your slide cancel like here and end it there, like this, right? You also could come here, but the problem with this is that it's not as good as here because more of your body is actually exposed because of this thing here. But you can also get shot from those directions. That's pretty self-explanatory. So after you do that, a lot of people, almost everybody rushes escalators from that side and this side of the map. So what you want to do after you chow this is to come around and challenge people like that up there. The only caveat is that obviously you have to hit your shots, right? So that's, like I said, that's something that I can't teach you. You got to do it yourself. But what you don't want to do is to chow like this, because as good as this is, you can get shot from that direction and your entire body's exposed. Literally anybody and their mom can kill you. So what you want to do is to chow like diagonally, right? So you want to come here. Because even if people are there and they see you, once you slide here, they really don't have a line of sight unless they want to chow you, which they're going to be at a disadvantage now. So they're going to be here with their body exposed and you have this little ledge to use. But like I said, you want to kind of like chow people up on escalators like this, right? So that's this side. And then obviously you can push this way. They typically either spawn way back there or way back there. This is a pretty good spot to hang out in, especially if you're like playing cracked like I always do. You can just like crouch this, make sure that, you know, they're not coming from that direction or this direction, and then you can kind of like either sound horror them something. They're gonna come down these stairs, you're gonna hear them, especially if they jump or slide or something, right? But this is it's a pretty typical power spot, especially anybody like all the noobs that kind of camp in this corner here just waiting for people to run by there and all that. But we're not gonna play like a bunch of bots, right? So what we want to do after you chow all this is I typically actually push up escalator. So I push up S keys and I make sure that no one is there. All the hardpoint players know about that spot and that spot. So what you also don't want to do is just come down here unless you check that spot and this spot and that spot. So all those you gotta check, and you do them methodically. So you come up these S keys and you want to be on that side, right? Because never. So if, for example, if I'm going up and I expect enemies to be there, I don't want to be on this side because then I just have this, which is not too bad. But what's better than that has worked for me is to just use this, because they see the top of your head, so you have that little thing and this little thing here. And like I said, you can crouch this too, right? Crouching in this game is huge. So you want to check that, make sure no one's there. You come around the corner, check that, make sure no one's there. And you can either quickly, or you don't want to do that. You want to either like slide cancel this, make sure no one's there, no one's shooting you and all that. Check that, and if no one's there, you can actually just come down this. You want to give this a quick look. People go up there, people come from there, and then this is the part that is like a 50-50 gunfight. But you know, if you have practiced enough and you hit your shots, this is a gunfight I'll take any day of the week, especially if I'm slide canceling around this corner, because people pre-aim this, and slide canceling in this game, I know a lot of people say that it's not as good as other games, but for me it has worked wonders. Maybe I'll make a video on how I do my slide cancel versus everybody else does. But anyway, you slide cancel this and you just chow people on that direction. And I'm honestly not gonna go too much into detail here because this is like, it's very typical. Everybody camps back there, people camp here. I've seen people camp here, which honestly, what the hell is the matter with you? But whatever. And then people camp up here. So like this, I'm not gonna spend too much time on. Let's talk a little bit about what you do if you spawn on this side of the map. So if you spawn on this side, I'm just gonna wrap around. You typically spawn here. What you want to do, you have two options. You can either go mid-map there and chow people there, or you can go up Eskies. So if you want to go up Eskies, obviously let's slide off of that because it makes it faster. You want to take out your pistol. You have two options. You can either chow people like this, or you can chow people like that. I usually give this a quick look, make sure no one's coming from there, and make sure no one's coming from there, which they typically are, but you can gun them. And then you can come up here, make sure no one's coming up these escalators, and then you want to chow this. And like I said, let me explain why you should slide cancel. Because if I'm coming around the corner, I have to expose my entire body to come up here and someone's going to be there, right? So instead of that, I'm going to slide here and my head is going to essentially just pop up and I'm going to chow people there, right? That's the reason you want to do it. The other thing I'm going to say, after you gun people there, because this is like, you should win this gunfight in any day of the week. If you're not winning these gunfights, you should work on your aim. But after you kill people there, you want to come down here. And like I said, you want to do everything methodical. This ramp, you slide down, it's super fast. So you slide down, make sure no one's there, and then you want to chow people up there. And like I said, that is also a gunfight you can win. Unless you're playing against like pros, right? You can actually just slide down because you slide super fast. Your head pops up here, and you can actually just like chow people up there. You also could obviously just push around their spawn and go into that area, which see in these situations, these are like 50-50 gunfights, right? And you want to avoid that, especially this area. This map doesn't really, this game in general doesn't have a whole lot of flank routes. This is like the best flank route you have, and still you can get gunned from that. You can barely see their head there, but you can get gunned from there, you can get gunned from there, up here, just 1,000 different directions they can kill you. So I typically, unless I'm playing against actual noobs, I just avoid this area because you die. But what you do want to do is do things that people don't expect. So for example, I'm going to slide down this, check that, and then what is next? They either spawning back there or they're spawning street, right? So I'm going to come around this corner and chow people here. But you don't want to go like all the way out in the open because they could be up there, they could be down here, which, you know, you can win those gunfights every once in a while. But what you want to do instead, make sure that you don't expose your entire body. And that way you can crouch shoot this too, because that makes it that much more difficult to hit you. And then the nastiest thing obviously is to not jump up here like an absolute bot and get shot from 1,000 different directions again. What you want to do, if you know that they're spawning either there or here, so if I know that they're going to come from this direction, I'm going to do this. Because they only see the top of my head, I'm slide canceling, so it's just going to pop up, they can barely even see me, and I'm just going to chow them here. And here, again, same thing, if I know that they're going to come from that direction, I'm going to slide cancel this, make sure that they're not up there, check this, because honestly this is such a 50-50 gunfight and their head is exposed, so if you're hitting your headshots, they're super dead. And then you just want to hold this. And what you don't want to do again is to just push this like an absolute noob, because if you're a good player, you're not going to play against noobs, and this is exactly where you expect them to be. And there's something weird about hip firing in this game. It doesn't really give you aim assist, so you want to kind of avoid that. So I typically try to hold my lines of sight and expect them to push me instead. Like chow people here, kind of thing, right? Honestly, that's about it in Moscow. Like I said, it's the most quote-unquote 3-lane map that we have. But yeah, that's the best we have. So I decided to start from this. Obviously, I'm not going to go into Nuketown and Raid. Actually, I'll do Raid, but I'm not going to do Nuketown because all the YouTubers are playing Nuketown. Just go watch how they play in that game. Like, honestly, like, it gets so boring to play the same map over and over again, especially if you play Black Ops 4 like I have for the last year. I don't want to play Nuketown for another full year, so... and that's it. So let me know what you guys think. I can do another map. I think I'm going to do Satellite, Cartel. I'll do Raid, but Raid is like super straightforward. I can do Checkmate. There's a lot of different maps that I can cover on how to rush, and I think I'm actually going to do one Checkmate now that I think of it. So next video is going to be Checkmate. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think, and that's about it. Have a good day.